A lot of people love cars, but there are some vehicles you should never drive under any circumstances. Some of these cars have really creepy backstories to them and I think they're cursed. Others are historic and have literally caused millions of people to lose their lives. I'm Charlie and today we're going to look at cursed cars you should never drive. Before we speed into it, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. The first car we're going to look at is the Golden Eagle. You might be familiar with the 1983 Stephen King novel Christine. Christine is the name of a haunted car which takes people's lives, but many claim that this was based off a real-life car. That is the Golden Eagle, which is a 1964 Dodge limited edition. Many have dubbed it the most evil car in America. It was originally used as a police car in Maine, but 3 of the officers who drove the vehicle ended up taking their entire family's lives and then their own. That wouldn't be too creepy if it happened once, but it happened not twice, but 3 times. After its time as a police car, it was sold to the Allen family. The family said that when they drove the car on the highway, the doors would mysteriously swing open. Several kids also passed away around the car. 2 kids were hit by other cars and flew across the street to land underneath the Dodge. 2 kids were hit by other cars and then flew across the street and landed underneath the Golden Eagle. Another kid who merely touched the car ended up passing away. This was in a house fire which also took his entire family. When members of the local church heard about this vehicle, they vandalized it, but then several of them passed away shortly after. Some have nicknamed this the Devil Car and it's now abandoned in a woods in Maine. The next vehicle we'll look at is Archduke Franz Ferdinand's Graf and Stift limo. It's creepy to think, but pretty much everything in the modern world goes back to this car. In 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife got into this limo. A grenade was then thrown at them, but it didn't damage the vehicle or them. Later on that day, however, in the same vehicle, Franz Ferdinand and his wife were shot. This led to World War I, which of course then led to World War II. These 2 wars alone led to around 100 million lives lost. But what's creepy is what happened to the vehicle after Ferdinand's passing. In the following 12 years after that happened, the vehicle was owned by 15 different people. It was involved in 6 incidents, and was said to have caused 13 people to pass away. Another owner also passed away in an insane asylum, and another passed in a car crash just 9 days after buying the limo. This cursed limo is also known to fall on people, crushing them, and it's also said to have caused various people to take their own lives. Thankfully, no one is now driving the vehicle as it's in the War History Museum of Vienna in Austria. The next vehicle is Dr. Kevorkian's Deathmobile. Okay, this car has a very sinister name, but it really does deserve it. This car was purchased for $30,000 by Zach Bagans. However, it used to be owned by Dr. Jack Kevorkian. Inside it, he helped end the lives of 130 people. He would administer poison to those who wanted to end their lives. Zach says he wants to use the van as a paranormal project. Many think that the van may be haunted. After all, over 100 people did lose their lives inside it. I can just imagine the haunted and creepy energy I would get if I was inside this van. You may not look twice if you saw this parked up on your street, but in reality it has a terrifying backstory. Next up is water-powered car. If I told you that a water-powered car has existed for many years, you wouldn't believe me. That's because we still use oil cars, which cost a lot of money and pollute the planet. Well, get ready to have your mind blown. Stanley Meyer invented a car which was 100% powered by water. He had worked out how to turn tap water into hydrogen fuel. Oil companies were terrified as they thought they would lose all of their business. They tried to pay him $2 billion for his car. He refused and a few weeks later he lost his life. A lot of people blame very big oil companies, which I can't name, for his passing. According to Stanley's brother, his last words were, "They poisoned me." His water-powered car now is just a very scary and creepy memory. But what do you think? Was Stanley taken out by big oil, or is there another explanation? Next up is James Dean's Porsche 550 Spider. The beloved actor James Dean owned many cars, but his favorite was his Porsche 550 Spider. However, at the age of 24, he passed away in that car, and it's said he was even warned about the vehicle. Star Wars actor Alec Guinness said he had a bad feeling in his gut and warned Dean not to get in the car. He said if he did, he would be gone within a week. And exactly 7 days later, James Dean passed away. This was after a road incident with the car. Later on, many people have found themselves in bad luck after coming into contact with this cursed vehicle. One mechanic who looked at its leg was broken, and 2 men who bought parts from the car ended up getting into into wrecks, and one of them even passed away. The cursed car also survived a fire and also fell off a transport truck, and in doing so crushed the truck driver. But then in 1960 it mysteriously vanished. This definitely is one of the world's most cursed cars. Next up is the jumping car of Cape Town. This one comes from Cape Town, South Africa. In 2004, some people witnessed a Renault Megane turn on and begin jumping with no one in the car. The witnesses saw the car jump twice up the hill before stopping. When they went to take a look, the parking brake was on and there was no keys inside the car. Renault explained and said the car's actions may have been because of a rusty starter cable. This could have caused a short circuit, which led to the car turning on. But that does not explain the revving engine. Some say maybe it was someone trying to steal the car. But the car was locked and the handbrake was still engaged. Coming up next is JFK's limousine SS-100X. One of the most defining moments in American history is the assassination of JFK. Some think that government organizations were involved in this happening. His limo had $200,000 worth of mods, but it was not bulletproof. And the car was also called a Lincoln, named after another assassinated president. Despite what happened inside the car, it was still used for 8 more years. The newly appointed President Lyndon Johnson used the car. However, he added bullet-resistant glass and titanium armor plating. He also added a bulletproof roof and painted it black. To me, there's something really sinister about using the same car your predecessor passed away in. Coming up next is the Phantom Bus of London. T, the Queen, big red buses. All things that come to mind when you think of London. But since the 1930s, many have reported a scary London bus. This bus speeds through London at 1:15 AM every night. It causes drivers to swerve out of the way and sometimes even causes vehicles to crash. It's said to be a big red number 7 double-decker bus with lights on but no passengers or driver inside. Police have actually tried to find this bus, but they've never succeeded. It always happens at the same location, on Cambridge Gardens. And after drivers swerve out of the way of the bus, they turn around and it's not there anymore. And the final cursed car we'll look at today is Black Volga. The legend of the Black Volga has been around since the 1960s. It originated in Poland. The car was a very expensive black limousine with white curtains. But some report seeing devil horns where the side mirrors would normally be. Other witnesses have said they've seen the car driving with no one behind the wheel. The car used to be very popular with priests and nuns. But some say Satan may have been driving the car. Whenever people would see the car, children would reportedly go missing, and anyone who touched this car would apparently pass away within 24 hours. Others report evil people driving the cars and taking people's lives. So if you're ever in Poland and see a Black Volga, then run. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Vote in the poll in the top right corner, which was the scariest cursed car.
Zombie apocalypse.